The Traveller's League Book 1 The Timepiece, written by Nick Goss. The Spell. Braxo held his blood-red dagger overhead. He had cast this spell 100 times before, but something inside him said this time would be different. The oracle moon had risen to its peak and was full again, allowing him to perform his dark work. With both hands on the handle of the knife, the black wizard closed his eyes and muttered the words to the spell. When he spoke the final word, he thrust the red blade into a giant block of dark crystal. A tiny, deep purple spark within flickered, and when he opened his eyes again, there were solid black, inky orbs. This spell allowed him to peek into the other worlds through the eyes of its creatures. He hunted, waited and searched for the boy. It was always a boy who travelled from world to world using the power of an item that Braxo desperately needed. The boy was always different, but the item was always the same. The timepiece. Braxo looked at a jungle. He was in the mind of a great beast with a long snout like a crocodile, and from the tip of its nose grew a horn like a rhino. When Braxo took control of the creature's mind, it was drinking from a pool at the base of a waterfall. The spell always put him close to the timepiece wherever it was, and each time he cast it he became more skilled at getting closer. The sound of a snapping twig or stick caught the creature's attention. Braxo watched through its eyes as he scanned the opposite bank of the pool. There, across the pool, was the shape of a young boy, frozen with fear at the sight of the beast. Braxo knew it was him, the Traveller, the one who carried the timepiece. He flooded the beast's mind with rage and commanded it to attack. As it jumped into the pool, Braxo whispered, "You're too late, boy. It's mine, give it to me." The boy was quicker than most, and Braxo drove the creature down the jungle path after him with a fury. The beast bellowed from pain and fatigue just before slowing its pace, allowing the boy to get farther down the path, around a bend and out of sight. Braxo waited a few moments for the beast to catch its breath, then doubled the rage he poured into its mind. It plodded onto the end of the path that spilled out onto a beach. Bursting out of the jungle and onto the sand, Braxo saw the boy by the water's edge, holding his precious timepiece. Golden streamers of magic and dust swirled around him and the timepiece. Only a few seconds more and the boy would escape. Braxo hurled a full dose of hate and pain into the beast's mind, and it ploughed through the sand. Tilting its head to the side, it closed the distance between the boy and its own giant form in seconds. It opened its jaws wide and snapped them shut around the boy, but only sand and salty air filled its mouth. The boy and the timepiece had vanished, escaping just in time. Braxo had failed, and while he had failed 100 times before, this was the closest he'd ever come. Releasing the creature's mind, he returned to his own body. Removing the dagger from the crystal, he called out to his servant, "Gary Pug!" A small dwarven man about 3 feet tall waddled into the wizard's chamber. "Yes, my lord." Gary Pug was dressed entirely in faded black, from his tiny cap to his scuffed leather boots. His silver beard hung down to his knees, and his face and head were covered from the scars he'd earned from a life of slavery and abuse. "Go to the forest outside the Wollipog village," Braxo ordered. "Hide yourself along the path and report back to me when he arrives. The boy is travelling."